Next presenter, who is slightly obsessive about one or two things. I think he's going to be talking about one of the things now. So please give it up for Mr. Paul Smith.
Okay, so I want to talk to you about what Paul Young can teach us about quality in art. But before I talk about Paul and talk about art, I want to talk a little bit first about quality in literature, because we all know that Dan Brown, the greatest living author. We know this for the main reason is the biggest selling books in the UK at the moment, Dan Brown's books. The Da Vinci Code, over 5 million copies in the UK. And if Dan Brown isn't the greatest author, then obviously it's J.K. Rowling or maybe 50 Shades of Grey's E.L. James. But of course, that's not how we measure quality. You know, if you look at any critics' greatest books of all time, and this is just one of those, the list is very different. The list of greatest books, Don Quixote is often touted as one of the greatest books, and the same in music as well. So AC/DC, I love AC/DC as a band. But they've got the second biggest selling album of all time. So Thriller's obviously the biggest selling album of all time. But Back in Black is the second biggest seller of all time. And I think that tells us that popular taste doesn't equal quality. You know, the popularity doesn't mean that something is of a high quality. And in fact, on the next slide, there's a graph to demonstrate. There we go. So high popularity, high quality, those are the classics. Those are everybody looks out for. Low quality but very popular, those are guilty pleasures, and we all have those. I'd put AC/DC in that for me. This brings me on to the kind of theme about art, and one of the most fatuous statements that you can see. I may not know much about art, but I know what I like, and you apply this to literature or music, and I don't think people would have the same willingness to make those statements. So what's it got to do with Paul Young? In '83, Paul released the album No Parley, and features a cover of Love Will Tear Us Apart, the classic Joy Division track. My sister was obsessed with Paul Young when I was growing up, and in fact I think this was the first time I ever heard Love Will Tear Us Apart as well. But of course the classic version was made by this man, Ian Curtis, what I would consider to be one of the best songs, popular music songs ever written, Love Will Tear Us Apart. And these two versions are very different, and in fact Paul Young's is technically very good, very tuneful, slick production. My mum would love it. In fact, she'd always choose to listen to that one and not the Joy Division version. But I think everybody understands that the Joy Division version is the classic version. It's the one that has the quality and the technical ability to play your instruments in that instance is not the same as having high quality. And this relates directly into art. So, for example, this Mark Rothko, one of my favourite paintings, and again, it's not necessarily the technical skills, but what he's saying with the art. And this, the urinal, Duchamp's urinal, was actually voted as the most influential work of art of the 20th century, not because it was popular, but because of its influence. And even the Tate, within their collection, they have works of art such as this, which is artist shit, and Pierre Manzoni canned his own feces for this work of art. And this leads a lot of people to ask, is it art? Is this art? Well, I think that's a pointless question, a question that there's no answer to. But I think the best way of looking at this is this Professor Rosenblum, who said if Duchamp's urinal is art, then anything is. But there has to be a consensus about good art among informed people. Somebody has to be the first to say something is good, but if nobody salutes it, then there's nothing there. And I'll leave you with Pablo Picasso, who eschewed what was popular taste, what was good taste, because he thought it stifled creativity. And that's what led him to be able to produce some of the greatest works of art we've ever seen, such as La Mademoiselle d'Avignon here. Thank you very much.
Paul Smith, ladies and gentlemen.